टू का ये था. So basically, the story is that there was a guy, there was a king who was Sibi, who was a very wise king. He was very wise. And एक दिन a small punchy came and sat on his lap, which was a dove, and behind it came a hawk. It wanted to eat this thing, and the hawk told the king that he's very very hungry. He needs to eat it. Now the king Sibi was a very wise man. He wanted to actually protect the dove. So he was trying to hive off the dove, the. But the king was fair. He also did not cause harm to the hawk. Now the battle goes. The hawk chuckled cynically, ignorant mankind. How the eagle came so much. So this was already done. है ना? So now what Sibi told hawk was that this bird who's sitting on my lap has come to my asylum. I will protect it. But the hawk said, "Look, I'm very very hungry. You're taking away from me." Right? And how will I fend for myself? This is a law of nature. I'm supposed to eat it, and this has come to me after a lot of hard work. I need to eat it. My children are dying. I've got five such people at home. I have a wife. I've got four small children who need to be fed. How will they be fed? So, but the city said, okay. Hmm. Now, but Sibi remembered that there was terror in the bird's eyes when it fell on the lap. He said, no, no, but I need to protect, right? So now the hawk basically said is if I don't eat this dove, I will die of hunger. So would my family. So now you have to take care of me also and you have to be fair. You have to be fair and a reasonable person. So now the story goes how does Sibi handle it? Sibi said, I noticed that you are an extraordinary bird. You talk wisely, knowledgeably, and there is nothing yet that you do not know. Your mind journeys with ease at subtle heights of thought. But tell me, how is it that you fail to notice the sheer duty I owe to a creature that cries for protection? So you must remember that small dove had come to Sibi and sat on its lap. It had asked for the protection. So Sibi said, how can I leave him like that? As a king, is it not my duty? As a king, is it not my duty to protect such a bird? I'm only asking for food. Food is to life what oil is to a lamp. But the hawk said, look, I'm asking only for food because food is to life, it's like oil to lamp. Without food, I will die. Very well, you see all these people lying around. They've all rested after a feast in which nothing was lacking to satisfy sixfold the demands of the pellet. Tell me what you want, and I will spread a feast before you in no time. Zippy said, look at these people lying around. I've served them a feast. They've had wonderful food. Tell me what food you want to eat, I'll lie it down. King, the nature of food differs with different creatures. What you call a feast seems to me to be so much of trash. The hawk was saying, no, no, no. What your food is, it is trash to me. This is my trash. ये मेरा ये मतलब वो trash है खराब है. You know. Tammy. We observe from our heights all the activity that goes on in your royal kitchen and ever wonder why you take all that trouble with spice, salt, and fire to ruin the great taste of God given stuff. तो हमने कहा कि नहीं हम लोग जो है ऊपर से देखते रहते हैं और हम ये देखते हैं तो आपके यहाँ खाना बनता है और जो नेचुरल जो चीज़ें होती हैं उस पर आप सॉल्ट स्पाइस वगैरह डाल के ख़राब कर देते हो क्या रीज़न है उसका है ना दिस थिंग I do not want to speak at length. I'm famished and I feel my eyes are dimming. Have consideration for me too. भाई ये तो मेरा डफ तो मेरा खाना है मेरी आंखें बुझी जा रही हैं मेरा खाना मुझे दो ताकि मैं जिंदा रह सकूं इफ इट इज फ्लैश दैट यू वांट आई विल आस्क हिम टू गिव इट यू तुम्हें अगर मांस चाहिए तो मैं अपने खाना वालों से कहता हूँ तुम्हें मांस देंगे वो फ्लैश द हॉक गेव एन ironical laugh at this see where all this leads you how are you going to get flesh without killing something else तो flesh कैसे ले आओगे without killing someone else you know when you interfere with what God has ordained you complicate everything भाई ये तो नियति का नियम है क्या हम बांस जो है वो उसको खाएगा अब तुम उसके बीच में आ रहे हो तो तुम सब कुछ खराब कर रहे हो. What is God's plan actually? Please enlighten me. The dove is intended for me. God has no other purpose in creating it and letting it multiply so profusely. भाई ये जो डव है इतना ज़्यादा मल्टीप्लाई क्यों होता है? ताकि हम लोग खा सकें. बिना उसके कैसे चलेगा? राइट. तो ये था. Are you not aware of the ancient sayings that hawk eats doves? The king thought it over and said, if you spare this dove, I'll guarantee you food every day in my palace all this while. तो राजा ने उससे कहा कि देखो, अगर तुम इस पंछी को छोड़ देते हो तो मैं तुम्हें खाना पूरी जिंदगी तुम्हें खाने दूंगा. I've already told you, my lord, that your food is inedible. Your assurance of feeding daily does not appeal to me. मैंने आपसे पहले ही कहा है कि भाई आपका खाना नहीं खा सकता और मुझे आप डेली जो खाना दोगे वो मुझे अपील नहीं करता. I hunt for food when I want it. I do not see why I should bother about tomorrow. भाई जब मुझे खाने की भूख लगती है तब मैं मारता हूँ. समझे? मैं आप कल की चिंता क्यों करूँ, है ना? तो मेरा तो ये हिसाब है. I repeat the ancient saying, है ना, hoarding for generations ahead is a human failing, a practice unknown to us. भाई humans क्या करते हैं? खाने को होर्ड करते हैं. ये एक फेलिंग है आपकी. ठीक है ना? ये हमें तो पता नहीं है. आई रिपीट द एंशिएंट सेइंग्स दैट हॉक ईट्स क्राफ्स. भाई बचपन से सुनते आए हैं बाज छोटे पंछी को खाता है, डव को खाता है. द किंग ब्रूडेड ओवर द वर्ड्स ऑफ द हॉक फॉर अ मोमेंट. आस्क फॉर एनीथिंग एक्सेप्ट दिस लिटिल बर्ड ऑन माई लैप. तो मुझसे कुछ भी मांग लो, ये छोटी पंछी के अलावा कुछ भी मांग लो, मुझसे कुछ भी मांगता है. आई वॉन्ट गिव इट अप विच एवर वे यू मे आर. मैं उसको तो नहीं दूंगा क्योंकि ये मेरे पास आया है फॉर प्रोटेक्शन. तुम कुछ और कुछ भी मांग लो. द हॉक टिल्टेड इट्स head, rolled its eyes, and said, so be it. I will ask for the next big thing. I want warm flesh with warm blood dripping, equal in weight to the dove. मुझे न गर्म मांस चाहिए, खून से लदा होना चाहिए, और जैसा इस डव का है वैसा ही मेरे को मांस चाहिए, उतना ही मांस चाहिए. We are used to eating only fresh meat. We are not carrion birds. Let me remind you, you will have to cut it out of your own body. तुम्हें अपनी बॉडी से ही काट के देना पड़ेगा. मुझे फ्रेश मांस चाहिए, उसमें खून निकलना चाहिए, और हम लोग फ्रेश मीट ही खाते हैं. सो आई नो यू विल नॉट चूज टू किल अनदर क्रिएचर फॉर. तुम किसी दूसरे को नहीं मार सकते. बताओ इंडिया में कितनी एडवांस थॉट प्रोसेस थी मामा, है ना? The king brooded over this. Yes, but I must consider which part of my body will yield the fish you want without destroying my life. Give me a little time. Bear her hunger for a moment, and he added, a ruler has no liberty to die, many depend on him. तो राजा ने कहा, देखो मुझे मांस निकाल के तुम्हें देना है, पर मैं कहाँ से निकालूं ताकि मैं मर ना जाऊं. तो मेरा एक शासक का धर्म है कि मैं मरे ना, है ना, क्योंकि उसको अपनी जनता को प्रोटेक्शन देना होता है. मुझे थोड़ा समय दो. In the same way as my family, many depend on him. Said the hawk. The king bit into an cannon. Bring a pair of weighing scales. तुम जो हो एक तराजू लेके आओ. The attendant was nonplussed. Your Majesty, how can we find one here in this remote place? The king repeated, I want a pair of scales for accurate weighing. राजा ने कहा मुझे एक स्केल लेके आओ ताकि accurately वो किया जा सके. May I send a messenger to fetch one from the city? How long will it take? Asked the king. The courtier made a swift reckoning and declared, if he rides a galloping horse, he should be back tomorrow at dawn. अगर वो स्केल लेके आया और अगर वो जो घुड़सवार गया वो कल सुबह तक आ जाएगा. The king looked at the hawk who already seemed to droop. He did not want to hear about his family on the mountain. It was also time to clear up all the situation and feed the refugee on his lap. He said to the courtier, construct a balance immediately with whatever is available. I'll give you 10 minutes. 10 मिनट में आप एक बैलेंस ऐसा बनाओ ताकि हम लोग कंपेयर कर सकें. Whoever fails will have his head cut off, I suppose, near the hawks. That will be truly king-like. But let me tell you straight away, I'm not interested in a cut-off head. तो हॉक ने बोला, अरे तुम बड़े चालू, अगर 10 मिनट में से स्केल नहीं बनाए तुम उसका सर काट दोगे और मुझे फीड कर दोगे. नहीं नहीं, मुझे वो कटा हुआ सर नहीं चाहिए. अच्छा. You shall have my flesh and nothing less. तुम्हें मेरा मांस ही मिलेगा और कुछ नहीं. They bustled about. By now, the whole camp was astir, watching this incredible duel between the king and the hawk. अब पूरे राजा के वंशज आए राजा और हॉक के साथ. They arranged to dangle a beam from the branch of a tree. Suspended from either end was a plate from the kitchen. A pointer also improvised marked the death center of the beam. मतलब उन्होंने एक बीम कहा कि हम बीम लगाएंगे एक ब्रांच से और डेथ सेंटर पे उसकी प्लेट होगी. द किंग लुक्ड एट द हॉक एंड सेड दिस इज द बेस्ट वी कैन मैनेज. अभी तुम भूखे हो तो इतना ही मैनेज कर सकते हैं, है ना. Suspended from other was a plate from the kitchen. A pointer also improvised. I understand. A little fluctuation should not matter in the least. Only I do not want you to lose more flesh than is necessary to balance the dove. The king did not let the bird finish his sentence, but rose, bearing the dove in his hand. He walked up to the crude sails in order to test them. He addressed the dog, will you step nearer? I can quite well watch from here, also I can trust you. हॉक ने कहा अरे मैं तो तुम्हें देख सकता हूँ. तो सिबी ने बोला क्या तुम आओगे पास में देख के. The king placed the dove on the right hand of the scale pan, which immediately fell down. उन्होंने डव को डाला और वो जो स्केल पैन था वो राइट हैंड पे डाला. Making the king wonder how a little bird who had lain so lightly on his lap could weigh down the balance in this manner. He wanted no further time in speculation. He sat on the ground, stretched out his leg, and after a brief prayer, incised his thigh with a deep knife. उन्होंने पूजा की और अपने थाली जांग से एक मांस निकाला. The courtiers and guests assembled groaned at the sight of the blood. सारे guests और courtiers जो थे उस खून को देख के डर गए. The king gritted his teeth and tore out a handful of flesh and dropped it on the scale. The plan became blood-stained, but the pointer did not move. और pointer हिला नहीं पैंट था. Someone cursed the dove. It has the weight of an abandoned corpse. It looks dead, and see if it is dead. तो देखा dead dove जो था वो लेटा हुआ था. किसी ने कहा अरे ये तो मर गया है, देखो ये मर तो नहीं गया है. तो करने का. Another said just pick it up and fling it to the hawk and be done with it, the miserable creature. अरे इस पंछी को उठाओ और इस बास को फेंक दो, ये एकदम पता नहीं क्या है. राजा अपने पाँव काट रहा है. The king was too faint to talk, and he gestured them to stop commenting. He had now only the skin on his right thigh. Still, the scales were imbalanced. The king went on to scoop the flesh from his other leg, and the pointer was still down. People averted their eyes from the gory spectacle. The hawk watched them critically. O hawk tail that all that meat and begone. बास तुम्हें सारा मांस लेके जाओ. I have been promised the exact equal weight of the dove, insisted the hawk, at which those assembled cursed the hawk and drew the swords. The hawk ने कहा अरे मुझे तो उसके बराबर ही मांस चाहिए. तो बाकी सब लोगों ने अपनी तलवारें निकाल ली. The king was faint with pain now, but mustered the last ounce of his strength to command his followers to keep away. He beckoned to his chief minister to come nearer. One has no right to end one's life, but this is unforeseen. Even if this means hell to me, I have to face it, he said. Everyone looked at the dove with distaste. My brother shall be regent till the prince comes of age. जब तक मेरा बड़ा बच्चा जो है बड़ा नहीं हो रहा था तब तक मेरा भाई मेरी जगह लेगा. With this he struggled onto his feet and stepped onto the flesh-filled pan. At once the other pan went up and equalized. जैसे ही राज उस पैन पे खड़े हुए वो पैन जो था पूरा बराबर हो गया. The hawk now flitted nearer and said, this is more than a mouthful for me and my family. How am I to carry you to the mountain? Huh? The king mumbled feebly. I did not think of that problem and added, you won't have been able to lift the dove either, so bring your family here. The hawk flapped its wing and rose up in the air and swooped down as if to pick the king's flesh. People shut their eyes, unable to bear the spectacle. But presently they heard a divine instrument filling the sky with music. The hawk was gone, but in its place they found Indra the god with dazzling crown, armed with a diamond spear, seizing Sibi's hand and helping down from the weighing scales. A flame rose where the dove had lain. From the heart of it emerged the god of fire. They said, O king, we put you to a severe test. We challenged your integrity, and we happily accept defeat. You are indeed blessed, and as long as human beings recollect your tale, they will partake of the spiritual merit you have attained yourself, and vanished. The king recovered his energy in a moment while the pieces of fish in the scale pan turned to fragrant flowers. और कहानी खत्म.
सिद्धार्थ दंत देव ने दिया करस्थ थाल में तथा दजीत ने दिया परार्थ अस्त